What is up, guys? Winner Kills here. Welcome back to a brand new combo video. Yeah, you guys have probably seen the Mermail extra link 1,000 times at this point, but there's a couple of new combos that I wanted to showcase here in this video specifically. And now that we have summon sources, and I realize I'm a little late on this, but I just recently discovered how all this stuff works a couple days ago. But there's some really cool plays with summon sorcerers and Reprodocus in this deck, as well as Gumblar. As I'm sure you're aware. The only thing that's changed in this build since the profile is I've added these 3 cards and cut Decode Talker, Underclock Taker, and Saryuja. So if you want to know what's changed, that's literally all that's changed. Yeah, so without further ado, I'm going to show you guys basically two going for starting combos that you're going to need to do in your starting hand. And the first combo we're going to do is basically just showcasing a combo with Undyne, Teus, and a copy of Dragoon. So these are all at 3, so this is not too unlikely to pull off. Now I'm putting these 2 Sekka's Lights in my hand to basically act as blank cards. We've done this before in other combo videos or test hand videos or whatever. The main reason is this because you just need discard fodder. This deck isn't like Goki where it can get its own discard fodder, you know, via a card like Phoenix Blade off of I Sold. Here, you're just going to basically, these would be your starting hand here, but these would just be literally 2 any other cards in the deck. It really doesn't matter what these cards are. You can make them whatever you want. For our case, we're just going to have these be Sekka's Light. There's basically just blank cards. Without further ado, we're going to get started and start this play off by doing Gen X Undyne here. And this is going to basically show you guys how to do a basic U-Link. This new way, being able to use Undyne sort of in your opening hand, because before we haven't been really able to use Undyne to that much effect until now, especially with Summon Sorcerers. So we're going to send Rosenix, and then we're going to add Controller. And this is also really cool because this, now that we have Summon Sorcerers, it sort of takes away the reliance of having to be able to make a rank 7 on your own with like having a Megalo and a Teus, or having access to Gund to, you know, revive a level 7 out of Grave to make Tomahawk. I'm sure most of you get sort of what I'm getting at. Because Summon Sorcerers can just bring out a Teus or a Megalo, so long as you have a Sea Serpent or Aqua on your field. But we're going to use Rosenix here, and we're going to banish it to summon ourselves a token, and then that token is going to go right into Link Spider. Now I'm going to put Link Spider over here because we need this zone open to summon Controller. Now, with Controller being here, we can link into Reprodocus, and Reprodocus is going to go right above Undyne. It's important that you have this set up here because you want Undyne under this zone, and then you want to leave this zone open so you can do this Spider Controller play, and then you want to leave your Reprodocus over this so you can have it point to it, so you can use this fact to make a dinosaur. And what that's allow you to do is to link into Summon Sorcerers because they're both the same type. So we're going to go into Summon Sorceress. No effect on Summon, actually, so not that we need to anyways. We're going to summon Teus and discard Dragoons. Now, we're not going to use her effect yet. We're just going to resolve the Teus. We're going to go Dragoons. Here we're going to add Prince off of Dragoons, and we're going to add, of course, Gund off of, off Teus. Because these are 2 really good discard cards to have later, and these are basically guaranteed discard cards to have going for us later, so that's important to keep in mind. Now we're just going to use Summon Sorceress and summon a Aqua from our deck. In this case, it's going to be another copy of Teus, so now we can go into our rank 7. I just dropped a card. Now we can go into our rank 7, which is basically just going to be Galaxy Tomahawk, as I'm sure most of you are aware at this point. And things pretty much from this point on are pretty standard and similar to how they've always been in the past. So I'm just going to grab my tokens here. I'm underprepared. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 2 are going to go into Goblin, our first copy, and then Summon Sorceress and Gyarados here are going to go into a copy of Firewall Dragon. I just hope this card gets hit someday because it's just so busted. I'm tired of you linking. It's too many things to do. I don't know what I'm complaining about, but anyways, Goblin going to go into Mermaid. And then here, like I said, we could discard one of our guaranteed, like, these cards are guaranteed to be in our hand at this point because we added them off of Teus and Dragoons. That's not really our worry here. We're just going to do the bare minimum. Discard our Sekka's Light, our blank card. As I said, it could be whatever, honestly. It could even be Ibly here. You just go into, you'd like summon something off a Firewall here, and then link into Goblin, and then go from there, and then discard Ibly off the Goblin and have that in the grave to add back. So if you're wondering how that was going to work, that's how that could work if you did open Ibly, because I've had to play through this before with Ibly in hand, and that's just one little way to dodge around it. So now we have Ibly here. We're just going to go into our Goblin. We're not going to use Ibly effect in grave, and or my bad, we're not going to use Goblin or Mermaid. We're going to use Ibly and this token over here, and go into Goblin, and then we're going to do a little interesting play here. So we're going to go Goblin 2, Firewall 1. We'll discard, draw, and then we'll summon one of our monsters that we added off of the Teus and Dragoons play earlier. We drew into Moon Glacia, which is unlucky because it's literally the only monster we can't summon off Firewall because it can't be special summoned unless by its its own way. But we're going to use these two other cards to go into Proxy Dragon, and now we're going to add back 3 cards. We're going to add back Gund, since we did not use her effect yet, so that would be still an option to have. We're going to add back Ibly, and we're going to also add back, let's say, a copy of Teus here. It's actually important to add back Teus at this point, because there's a couple really cool things we can do with us keeping circulating these 3 cards via adding them back and stuff. That's really important to remember. But we have Ibly here, and we have our extra normal summon, so we're going to use that. And that is going to revive Goblin out of the graveyard. And then here we're going to link into our Tri-Gate Wizard, just like that. And then we're going to summon something off of our Firewall, just like that. And then here we're going to go into Unicorn. This is where things get a little different. We're going to go into Unicorn here, simply because with this play here, we can actually use Teus and Prince to have a bit of an extra play to make. So we'll go summon Teus, discard Prince, and then Prince effect activate to revive Dragoons, just like that. And then we go into our next card here, which is going to be Cerberus. And then from here, we can't, if like literally this was any other thing, we could summon it. If this wasn't Moon Glacia. It's kind of just super unlucky that I happen to draw it in this video. But what are you going to do? But yeah, we'd summon this other monster and then go into Phoenix there. Or what you could have done earlier is just not gone for the Unicorn play. And used Prince to go into that and then summon this and then go into this. So instead of having this, we would have ended up with this had we not done the Unicorn play. So keep that in mind. We just end with the basic U-Link there. And then we could go into Gumblar here if we wanted to with those 2 here, and then use his effect to make them discard 2. And that's pretty much how that works out. We just got unlucky and opened this. We drew into it. We can't control those random draws. Those are the only things that are random in this combo, the cards that you're going to draw off Goblin and the cards that you're going to draw off Mermaid. So you get 2 draws out of this combo. I think Mulan's like one of the worst ones to have because you can't summon it. It's a monster, but you can't summon it off a Firewall, which is like super unfortunate. If you draw into, let's say, like Sekka's Light, it doesn't matter because you can use those to draw into more monsters unless you draw 2 Sekka's Lights off of Sekka Light. Then at that point, you should just probably scoop. But for this next combo, this combo is going to be more Gumblar oriented. This one will help you, this one will allow you to take 4 cards out of your opponent's hand, 2 via Mulan, and then 2 via Gumblar Dragon. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that now. We're going to need Teus, we're going to need Prince, and we're also going to need an extender, and in my case, we're going to use Swap Frog because I think he's one of the best, and then our 2 random discard cards. So, again, it's pretty standard combo right up until the end. The only thing about this combo, I will say, is it's nice to be able to discard all those cards out of your opponent's hand, But you better hope it's going to win you the game, because you do have to sacrifice a Goblin and a Cerberus to be able to make this play happen. And you do need to open up super well just to be able to like sacrifice all of these cards to be able to go into this combo. So let's start things off with Prince. And this is just like I said, with the Summon Sorceress and the Reprodocus, these combos get so much easier to do, and they're just a lot more fun to do. Because it's a little bit different. It's not the same old as it was before. So now we're going to summon Teus, discard Dragoons, and then we're going to search Moulin and Gund. There's Gund, and there's Moulin. So now we don't have to worry about drawing into Moulin off of a card like Goblin or Mermaid, because they're already in our hands. So now, before we go into Underclock Taker, we're going to go into Reprodocus and put him over here. You can do them on the left side too if you want. I'm just used to doing things on the right. So now we'll summon Megalo, and we'll discard Swap. This could be any random water, but for this play you're going to want to be an extender, whether it's Swap Frog, a Nimble I don't think would work here, maybe for later on in the combo, but basically Rose Nyx or Swap is going to work best here. Then we're going to summon Teus over here, and we have 5 engraved. We'll summon the Moulin. They're down 2 cards now, and then we're going to use Repro to make him a dinosaur so we can go into Summon Sorceress. Now, there's a bit of a change in play we could have done here. We could have summoned this over here, yes, but I'm just comfortable from linking, starting my play like from the right side and moving over to the left, as you'll see in just a minute. But what we can do here, and keep this in mind, again, like you need to have like the nuts hand to do this, to get like an extra draw off of a card like Cerberus, because what you can do is you can put Teus over here when you revive him, so you can use Summon Sorceress to summon out another Megalo or another Teus, wherever you have them positioned, really, is what it all depends on. And you can summon this over here, another Megalo. Or what you can do is leave this here, summon a Teus or Megalo to your opponent's side, so you can use that, so you can use your Cerberus later on in the combo to discard, to destroy, to draw, but keep in mind you need to have a ton of extenders to do this to be able to finish the U-Link, because that does take a card out of your hand, and like we said, we don't have the infinite, discard fire like Goki does, so just keep that in mind. So, but for this play, we're just gonna, let's summon this Teus over here, and let's summon out a Megalo from deck, just so we can use the Summon Sorceress, because why the hell not? So we'll summon that Megalo there, it comes out in defense, effects negated, doesn't really matter too much, and then we'll just go like this into our Galaxy Tomahawk. And then from here, we'll summon our 3 tokens this time. 1, 2, 3. Now, the only advantage to doing it this way is we get an extra name on the field instead of just tokens. So that does kind of diversify what kind of links we can go into right off the bat, which is kind of nice, but it's not super game breaking. Now we'll go into Goblin, and then here we'll go into Firewall. And there's Firewall, and then we'll link into Mermaid. And then discard. And then we will summon Ibli, just like that, and then we're going to draw a card. Hopefully we draw into a monster. If we'll draw into Sekka's Light here, we'll use it. We'll draw into Teus there, that's fine. Now we're going to get rid of these 2 to go into our second copy of Goblin, use our other random card, discard this, and we're also going to use this as Chainlink 1, so Chainlink 2, Chainlink 1, we'll draw, we'll summon. So we drew into Sekka's Light, so we're just going to use that. But first we're going to link into Proxy Dragon. This way, again, I like doing this because it allows us to add back 3 cards instead of just the 2. So I like chaining the Goblin and the Firewall there. So we're going to use this effect now to add back, of course, Ibli, and a Prince, and a Swap Frog. So add back these 3. I'm not going to use the Sekka's Light yet to discard for anything really, or not even use it to draw. Actually, I should say we'll just keep it in hand for now as I throw it off the table. Okay, so from here, again, same thing. Ibli's going to do the same job it always does. We're going to use it to bring out Goblin, and then here we'll go right into Trigate. And if I can find the Trigate, here it is. And then we're going to summon again. Here we're going to use Swap Frog to bring down, and then we're going to use Swap Frog's effect to send Ronin Toad into the graveyard. So we can use him for linking later on. Now, again, with Gumblar, we don't want to trigger his effect to discard cards from our hand to discard cards from our opponent's hand when we summon something to a zone a link monster points to. Because when extra linked, it won't allow us to discard other cards from our opponent's hand because you can only use one of each of his effects. So you can only use one Topological Gumblar Dragon effect return and only once that turn. So keep that in mind when you're trying to use Gumblar. But right now, here we're going to get rid of these two to go into Cerberus, and then we're going to summon here to go into a Link Karibo, and then we're going to use our swap, or Ronin Totem here, I should say, I can't speak. Banish the swap, and then we'll go like this into Phoenix. And we still have the Sekka's Light in hand, keep in mind, so that's really cool. Then we ditch the Cerberus and the Goblin, unfortunately, but they have to go for this play in order to work. And then we summon the Topological Gumblar Dragon like so. And basically, we use its effect, they take 2 more cards out of their hand, and we still have the Sekka's Light in hand, or this could be a monster. 1 extra card, preferably a hand trap. Let's draw into 2 more cards. Angler and Diva. That's not too bad, actually. And they also have Ibli on their field, which we forgot to give them, because I always forget about that. Don't forget about it like I do. But again, now at this point, like, if you had more cards to work with, another thing you could do is you could, like, link away probably these 2 into, like, a unicorn, spin something back, draw a card, and then use Angler to link into more cards. But we're pretty much spent on extra deck stuff. Like, we only have a Spider and a Unicorn left. But we're kind of hoping, our opponent can't do much to this field. We have a Tri-Gate, Banish effect, we have Link Karibo, we have Gumblar. They're down 4 cards, for crying out loud. I mean, that's got to be pretty good, unless we just hit every relevant card out of their hand except for 2, and in that case, it's just unlucky to begin with. But anyways, that's going to do it for this little combo video. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up. Try to do these all off the top of my head without extreme rehearsal other than the practice that I've had on stream. Like I said, I realize this isn't probably that new, but it's new to me, so I wanted to go ahead and share it with you guys. Just 2 of my favorite combos. I know that first combo we did, where I went with, you can add back the Teus and the Prince, or use, like, summon Teus to discard a gun to bring back another Teus or a Megalo, or you could use the Prince to bring back Dragoons, to link into more cards to get that Goblin on the field, or you could take it the safe route and go into Link Karibo, and not worry about, summoning other cards to the field. In a hand like that, though, to make that hand even better, where we just opened up, you basically just want to use, like, you want to open up, like, Teus, Dragoons, Undyne, and maybe, like, swap in your opening hand with the Undyne. So, like, you'd want your opening hand to be something like this for that first combo for it to be really busted, whereas we started with this and the 2 random cards. You'd want this 4th designated card, or, like, because you can't use Rosenix, obviously, because we're going to be using Rosenix in that combo with the Undyne, so you don't want that in your opening hand. But adding a card like this to your hand, or maybe Nimble Angler, could also work to make some really good plays there towards the end. So you don't have to worry about not using Firewall that one instance, and then summoning Teus by discarding this to revive this to give you 2 other cards to go into Cerberus over here. Like I said, at that point, if you had the Frog, you could just bring out Ronin, use Ronin and Firewall like we did there at the end to go into Phoenix to complete your board, leaving you with the Link Karibo or Mermaid, Phoenix, Goblin, Tri-Gate, Cerberus, and Unicorn. And then you could even go into Topological Gumblar if you want. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this combo video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I was able to help you guys out with some of these combos. For the longest time, I didn't know how to do any Gumblar play or how to use Summon Source in this deck, but now I do. And what do you guys think about it? I think it's pretty cool. A lot of people have been asking me, what's this deck going to be like when they hit Firewall? If they ever do, which I hope they do, they should. A card like that should not be at 1 forever. It's just too degenerate in my opinion. I think this deck just obviously changes its play style. I think it's still completely capable of doing Tri-Gate locks when you open really well. And then it sort of just goes back to playing more Synchros and Xyz monsters and having a more creative play style and OTKing like it did in the past. And I honestly really like that kind of Mermail, and I hope we do see a return of that sometime soon, because this is just a little ridiculous with all this linking and combo heavy stuff. So hopefully if Firewall does hit, this deck does not die when Firewall does. This deck can still do so many things without it. But yeah, and the sleeves I'm using are from Imperium Duelist. These are like the Illusion Dot sleeves, and this is like the Illusion Prismatic sleeves on the main deck, because I know everybody always asks. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Winner Kills, signing out. Check out my Twitch and Discord down in the description below. Also consider picking up a playmat as well. That supports me a lot. Those guys, Winner Kills, signing out. We'll see you in the next one.